Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing great. School of Entrepreneurship, welcome to the session of Meet the Global Leader, where it's actually organized by School of Entrepreneurship Development. In this session, we try to, share the stories of, diversified activities that our guest speaker done. They share their stories of their professional lessons, learnings with the audience who are actually university going students. So through this session, we try to create an awareness among them and try to share the lessons and advice from our guest speaker. So today we have invited Ms. Akina, who is co-founder of All Stars Omen Dao. And Akina, welcome to our session.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Akina, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Okay, great. So, um, I am from California. Been there ever since I was, 3 years old. Both my parents are from Asia, China. So we speak Cantonese. So I went to Chinese school in the U.S. And I went to UCLA for my undergrad. I was an English major and in with a double major in business administration. I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, and I have no plan. I just want to do what I want to do and learn what I want to learn. So that's just part of me. So right out of college, I went to Enterprise, rent a car as my first job. Everybody was shocked because I'm always like the famous person. I'm always doing, extracurricular activity, and I'm always the popular kid in school, right? Even in college. And they were shocked that I went and to work for Enterprise Rent a Car. Like it's a rental car, but I loved it because the management there were extremely street smart people, and they only hire people from college, and you have to work your way up. They don't promote from outside. And then I was there for 9 months, and I was promoted like three times. And then I won a lot of awards because what I loved about Enterprise Rent a Car is they teach you how to sell anything, right? So basically, they measure you on selling insurance. Even as of today, after 20 something years, I still remember, it was like 399 plus 899 plus 899, right? 399 was for personal insurance, 899 was for the other car insurance, and 899 was for your own car. So if you buy the full package, you get a discount, it's 2099 or something like that. And they measure on a daily basis how many insurance you sell. So basically, it teaches you how to build relationship, which they call rapport, while you pick them up, and then become the best friend and then sell them insurance on the car that they're renting. So it was an amazing experience. So I learned that no matter what job you do, you always learn something if you have the right attitude. And whatever you learn, you take it to your next career, right? And your next career brings you your next career. And just makes you much more powerful, more diverse, and more dynamic, as an employee or as a leader, as a manager. It's that important. So from there, I went to work for Charles Schwab, and Charles Schwab is one at that time in late 1990. They are like the fintech, right? Innovative tech, and they're disrupting investment in the investment world against the J.P. Morgan and the Merrill Lynch, because in at that time there's no online investment. Like it's so easy now to open an account online and trade stock. You can't do that. You have to have at least $1 million to open an account to buy stock. So by allowing people to open an account online and trading stock with only like maybe a few $1,000 is unheard of, right? So we were disrupting the market in fintech, you can say. So after a few years in Charles Schwab getting promoted 7 times, I fell in love by accident with tech because I was asked to help deploy Siebel, which is the first CRM system in the world, right? Charles Schwab spent half a billion US to buy the software to deploy among within Charles Schwab organization itself. So when with the CRM system, I have helped our business unit grow from 1 billion asset under management to 18 billion US dollar asset under management with less than 2 years. That's amazing. Just because of technology, we'll be able to track opportunities, convert, chased, and measure people's performance in sales and everything. So that made me realize how powerful tech is, how critical tech is to help a company scale and grow fast.
Hmm.
So then I left Charles Schwab to go work in the Silicon Valley in the early to, late 1990 and early 2000. But during that time, some of the students might be a little bit too young to be aware that was called the first bubble burst in the Silicon Valley, right? And we wiped out billions of dollars of companies and people lost a lot of money. But that was the era when we did all type of startup with the internet. The internet
Mhm.
started just beginning of what all the e-commerce and stuff you see now, social media didn't exist at that time, right? Having the e-commerce like
Yeah,
was like, wow, my God, you're deploying, like a system that we never heard of, right, at that time. So it's amazing, and I was with three startups, so I kind of learned what makes a startup successful, what makes them fail, right? And then there is a book
yeah,
that called Crossing the Chasm, meaning that for new product, new startup, your most critical point is get mass adoption. But before you get to mass adoption, there's just little abyss. You have to survive and go up before you get to reach the mass adoption. And that's why they're calling crossing the chasm. The chasm was this abyss. You fall and everybody dies, the death valley, you kind of say. So I was there a couple of years, and I realized I understand how company fails. So I went and started my own consulting business and help company grow and change the business model with technology, like smaller financial system, e-commerce website. That was really, really out of like out of the left field. No one know what it is, and I helped a company grew double, triple the business within a year, and I was really good at it. And then I just kind of fell in love with Hong Kong, and I decided to move to Hong Kong right after SARS. So that was like early 2000, right? In Hong Kong, had no friends, no job. I partied for like 9 months, and then meet people, and then met my first boss in Hong Kong, hired me. His father is on the board of Hong Kong Stock Exchange, owe money. I helped him. I had known nothing about telecom, but just basing on my understanding of basic functional skill of deploying technology, I helped him deploy and set up the operation to run the digital uh, analog walkie-talkie. Because before digital walkie-talkie is analog walkie-talkie.
analog.
Yeah, so we moved from analog to digital. Did that for like 2 years, no, less than a year and a half. Then I went to a software company called FCS, and we sell software to hotels. Never sold software before in my life. Never ran sales before in my life. Never was in the hospitality industry. Did it, learn, sell, and then take my skills I learned from the past, how to roll out product, how to market, how to position, how to price things. I was able to triple the business because they hired me as a head of Hong Kong. And then within 8 months, I tripled the business. And then I took over Taiwan and took over South China. When I took over South China, I also tripled the business in 9 months. Then I became the global leader for the software company because no one could do what I did in such a short time. So that was amazingly fun. So I've been able to sell very high based on value to all the major international chain hotels like Hilton, Marriott, Starwood, you name it, Shangri-La, all the brand uses us globally. In India's Taj, right? And then
Yeah,
and in UAE was Jumeirah, right?
yeah,
So we
Jumeirah.
were, yep.
The
So we were,
Jumeirah Beach, right? The
no,
palm.
all the Jumeirah hotel was using
Oh,
our
okay.
basic
Okay,
software.
Jumeirah Hotel.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, and then I did that about 10 years. Then I went back to the startup world. There was within 18 months, I helped them become a unicorn, right? Grow their operation from 4 offices to 91 location worldwide. Within 18 months, like first 9 months, grew the business by 5 times. From there, grow another 5 times, and then I helped them wrote a business plan that got them 125 million US dollar in funding, and
Wow.
then that was a crazy 18 months. I wasn't really sleeping because it's startup, right? You work 24
Yeah.
by 7. Then I realized I needed a break, take a break, and then I went to corporate world, which is much slower and doing something totally different. Never done it before. Also, I did. I was a real estate conglomerate. I was working at the group level, reporting to the board and to the chairman's son. I helped them do digital transformation innovation for the group, right? A few public companies and stuff like that, hotels and malls and real estates, things like that. So interesting. So I rolled out group ERP, group HR, group CRM, group digital marketing platform, introduced IoT to measure ventilation, got a lot of awards, ESG related award. Then I have become one of their investment committee members to vet startups to invest in startup.
Mhm.
Finally helped build the VC arm and then built a little startup in Web3. But that time in 2019, Metaverse was not really known. The business was growing about 59% month on month in revenue. It's not a really a Metaverse. It's actually a 3D e-commerce platform. So kind of give back to the company and left so I can be in the Web3 space. So kind of like help met the founder of All Star Woman, Layla Herstal, and then kind of became the co-founder and helped her continue to build All Star Woman DAO for the Web3 space to bridge the gender gap in Web3. So that's my history.
Wow, I mean, it's been so many years of experience, but and like you've shared in minutes, but it took a lot. Like you mentioned,
Yes.
like there's no time limit for startup workers when people work with startup. So
Yeah.
yeah, you are into technology, right?
Yes.
And like in developing countries, they're still developing in that sector. You are living in a developed country.
Yes.
So the thing is, if I go back in your student life,
Mm-hmm.
you involved with so many. You mentioned volunteering activities. So
Right.
why did you involve with volunteering activities, and what were the skills you believe that you developed by being involved with those volunteering activities?
For are you saying that a nonprofit activity? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So I always love to contribute and give back, and I love to lecture, like be like a teacher. But I don't have the patience of being a full time teacher. I think teacher is such a giving job, right? So I am a adjunct professor in a couple of university, right? Like I lecture at Hong Kong UST, one of the top first university in Hong Kong. I lectured at Singapore Polytech, Hong Kong Polytech. I actually also lectured once at Emirate University in Dubai, so things like that. So I just love giving back and educating people. And I see things differently, right? Even if the way I explain what Web3 is very different from a lot of people. And
yeah.
then I'm very known to, how would I say, um, I have a way of making things that seems complex, very simple to understand, and I really enjoy it, right? So, yeah. And then I think that the only thing that if you want to do volunteer stuff and train people, what you need to me, it's a very giving heart. And you really want to do because you really want to train up people and share your knowledge, right? Because it's voluntary, because you don't get paid for it,
Yeah.
and it's all based on if you want to do it, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
One of your expertise is uh, transformation, transforming, like digital transformation.
Yeah. No, it's not
If
data, it's digital transformation, right?
Yeah,
Helping company
and
go get online. Yes.
great. So, can you share a bit about what does it mean by like what is digital transformation, and uh, why it is so important for organizations to go digital?
So a lot of people don't understand that digital transformation means change management, right? So just a new trendy word. Instead of change management was used in early 2000. So they moved that word and then call it transformation because you're changing. And digital transformation means that when you change, you use technology to help you change, right? In the past, technology was not critical. That's why they call it change management. It's a corporate restructure. That's change management, right? Changing business ideas and stuff like that. But right now, whatever you do, you cannot get away without using technology. New
Yeah,
business, new ideas, new operations, all tech related, right? So that's why they call it digital transformation.
even
Anytime you,
even our life is related to technology, like personal life.
yeah, well, you name it when you're not using your cell phone,
Yeah,
right? So
Yeah.
it's very basic, simple, and it's important because if you still operate without technology, where things technology has improved, you will behind your competitor. You will not be very competitive. When you compete, when if you can use something better, your cost will be very high, can be very low. You'll not be able to move into the new business world where the uh, world has the customer has moved to. If a lot of people are buying stuff online, you don't have an e-commerce platform, guess what? Sorry, you're not going to be around very long, right?
True.
Right.
So, uh, can you share a bit that developing countries, like I mentioned, as like if I relate it with Bangladesh, so we are a developing country and
Yes.
we're developing in that sector also, like digital transformation. So many changes are happening here. So the
Yes.
thing is, according to your like experiences, uh, people need skilled workforce. So
Yep.
as you know, like university students, they are listening this. So
Yep.
can you suggest some like ways university students should develop themselves to make them ready for that technology based scenarios or industrialization, so that they can develop some skills. They can, if they want to like go for professional sector, they can like use that skill to excel in their career.
So right now, if anybody, you don't need to learn how to code anymore. Coding is no longer going to be useful because generative AI will help you code things. You need to learn how to do prompting, right? You have to understand what AI is. So the best way for future is learning about looking at data and analytics, learning how generative AI works, how to develop codes for AI training, machine learning, and all that stuff for learning stuff, right? So I think that's very important. A lot of jobs will be gone in the next 3 to 5 years. Things will be replaced by generative AI, robots, and stuff like that. So I don't have the magic word that you should be doing this, but I think that if you want to be relevant in the industry, big data, understanding how to code for AI related technology like machine learning and stuff would be very vital. Learning how to write properly, speak properly is going to be very important for anybody, right? Because that's something that you will never be able to, um, I don't know how to say, replaced by robots, right? Yeah.
Great. And like you are involved with a lot of activities still. So
Yes.
how do you manage time, and why it is so important, to involve a person or a professional with relevant activities, series of activities or organizations, if they can.
Well, for me, when I work with students and interns that's still in college, I'm learning the latest things that they are doing, right? Like a lot of college kids or teenagers learn about TikTok before TikTok was popular, learn about Instagram before Instagram was popular. So if I was an investor, my God, if I know these are the hot stuff that the young people will use, I will invest in it and I'll be rich, right? So we are a little behind on the latest technology. But I also believe that school is also very traditional. There's stuff that they're teaching that will be irrelevant and they haven't changed the agenda, which would be an issue, right? So I think a great leader should do both. You learn from those you teach, and from those you teach, you let them learn from you, right? So and it's just important, that it's both way.
Yep. And also, can you share a bit about, like you are the co-founder of All Stars Women DAO. So what it does and how this organization is creating impact in the life of women.
So in the technology space, women are not dominant. I think we have less than 20-30% women in the tech space, especially in the Web 2. Web 3 is less so, right? So the reason why we want to do All Star Women DAO is actually an investment DAO whereby hopefully we raise money in the community and we invest in companies that are led by women or led by men who supports women so they can hire more women, promote more women. So even for me, I'm considered a well-known person in the Web3 space and then a leader. Like I still get bullied by men when I'm entering the Web3 space. They're like, "Oh, you don't know anything about Web3. You're not crypto, savvy." So I know how tough it is if you're just starting out. So we've been helping a lot of women who start businesses in the Web3 space and help launch the business in the Web3 space, and we just want to help them. We do things. We don't charge them any money. We spend money. I spend my own money to do events and stuff to launch companies, to give them exposures and stuff like that, and train them out and meet with them. So it's. I know this. It's not significant what I do, but I believe that every little thing you can do will help, right? So yes.
Yeah, true. So we are about to, like at the end of our session, but two more questions to go.
Mm-hmm.
You said that yeah, you have been working with diverse team members.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important. Like when you talk about team, like we have friends, it's like a team. We work in a company, there is a team. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone comes up with an idea, a business idea, there is a team. So in personal and professional life, these friends and team members, they are very important. They must be like-minded, if they want to be successful. So according to you, uh, why it is too important, like if you want to advise on that basis, that for students, sometimes they want to do business or they want to do some group work. Why should they more focus on like be a very good team player to achieve a common goal? Can you share your perspective on like about teamwork?
Well, okay, so this is something that's going to be a very disruption to current leaders and also youngsters, right? So, like all the students right now, they learn that the company is like a triangle. You have a CEO, COO, and then the C-level executive, middle management. And you listen to them. That's the wrong management style, right? Right now in the Web3 space, there is a new concept called DAO, DAO, which stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Organization, clubs, society, nonprofit, profit doesn't matter. Are you running a company or an idea? You're running it as a community, which is a circle. Everybody who believes in, let's say, I want to save the dolphin. Anybody who wants to save the dolphin, come works for me. They're not work for me, but become part of my member in my DAO, and we work together. We vote. Everybody has the same voice, same opinion. The leader was said, "We try to drive," but if the community, the members inside my DAO, feel strongly against my idea, they can vote against me, and my idea will be killed. In a corporate world right now, that doesn't happen. Now, Dow has only been around for 5 years, but according to my latest check a couple months ago, right now, all the Dows together has over $1 trillion under asset management. Not really big,
It's
but
huge.
pretty big for 5 years, right? So it's a new concept of running businesses. And there's
Yeah.
a book by Professor Linda Hill, who's a dean of the MBA class for Harvard Business School. She wrote a book called Collective Genius. It's a similar concept, right? Basically, say the new management for the young kids right now when they grow up, because a lot of young kids right now they're much smarter than when we were kids because they have a lot more access to informations and technologies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they have more opportunity to become their own boss, to create their own ideas. It costs less for them to start up an idea or a business, right? So a lot of these youngsters will want to have their own mind and their own say, and they want to be a boss. So then the DAO structure allows everyone who's a member to have a say, and it's the same concept as collective genius, but it's a way of transitioning from a traditional triangle to be an upside down triangle. right? Whereby the leader of the company, now it's upside down, is the majority of the staff. They have ideas, they have goals, they have stuff, and the management becomes a supporting structure to support those ideas and help them execute it. So it's a little closer to DAO. DAO's a little bit more extreme, right? So DAO is basically an experiment of a new way of running companies against our traditional method of how we run companies.